Hello and welcome to another video. So in this one I'm going to be attempting to get into the 143s at Dragon Trail Seaside Daily Race C, and I did have 2 hours of recording that unfortunately didn't get saved properly, so I'm going to show replays and just talk about it instead. But I'm going to give details of how I improve my lap times personally and how I get better, because I know a lot of people give braking points and things like that, but they don't really discuss how they get better. And as I said, this took me 2 hours to do, so it's not it's practice basically. But I'm going to try and go into detail of what I think you should do that will help you, and hope this helps you out. So just as we look through the track, I'd say point one, if you've never done the track before, don't know the track, set a time and try the track out. 10 to 20 laps, set a time, see where you need to go left, where you need to go right, where the hairpins are, where the, what corners are there, is there S sections, is there chicanes, is there hairpins, whatever. Just see where the track goes. If you know the track and are confident, you can skip that step. So step two then, I would say, is watch the fastest lap. Not in too much detail. Play it through quick, get the details on the screen so you can see when he brakes. Just keep an eye roughly when he brakes, but don't look in too much detail. Just look for the racing line where he's going. Right. So then step three, I would load the ghost up of the fastest time and do 15 to 25 laps maybe. And obviously try not to get penalties because you want consistent laps. So just while we talk about this, was my fastest lap at the time. So look at the deltas, see where are you faster, where are you slower, where are you losing time, where are you gaining time, and try experiment with a few different lines. Follow the ghost, try and follow his line, see if there's a line that suits you better, and just experiment with the track and see what time you get up to then, and that should probably improve your time. And then once you feel confident and you think, right, I've set a time that I think's a good time, and now I need to improve, I don't think I can improve on my own. So once you get to that point, I'd say step four, go and watch the replay again and watch it in detail and check the brake markers and everything. Watch the replay in detail. And then step five, I would load the ghost back up again and try the braking points out that you've just found. Try them out, adjust them to suit you. You might need to brake a bit earlier. You might need, and some racing lines that they take, you might not be able to do. There's lines that I'll show. I'll compare my lap to the top lap and show you. You sometimes another line will suit you better. You might lose a tenth, but trying to follow his line, you might lose 3 tenths. So adjust the driving to yourself. And then once you're confident, the last point, point 6, just push, lap after lap after lap. If you keep restarting at this point, doesn't matter. Just push for the fastest lap you can get. Know where you're going and just give yourself a target to aim for and go for it. That's what I'd say anyway. Right, so we've done step one there. We set ourselves at 144.355. So step two, let's just watch the replay. Not too much detail, just look for braking points. So here I'd be saying, oh, he brakes roughly on that AstroTurf there. He stays in 3rd gear for this chicane. These are the sort of details I'd look for, nothing extreme, just watch it through fast. And here you'll see right-hander, is he braking? No, he's keeping it flat through there. Where's he brake here? He brakes roughly where the grass is. He keeps it in 3rd gear. Details that you can use to try and see, well, let's try being in the same gear he is, let's try braking where he does. So you see he's in 5th gear here, does he drop? No, he stays in 5th gear. So now you can try using 5th gear through here. Does he cut that corner? He gets right on the inside of that corner. Think just small details like that at full speed, just to see what he's doing. So looking, he's coming down to this hairpin. Where's he braking? Oh, just after the end of the curb, maybe say. Turns in, he stays in 3rd gear again. So let's try 3rd gear for that corner when we go back and do our practice. This is he coming round here. It's flat through there. Does he lift? No, he doesn't. He stays flat through there. So that's something to try. You might have to lift, but that's where you adjust. You adjust to suit yourself. But you're seeing, what does he do? So where's he brake now for this final corner? Braking just before the 100-metre board. and he's turning it, he's staying in third gear again. So we're learning third gear is a good gear to use on this track by the looks of it. And then he's flat to the line. So as I said, 0.3 would go on to push more, but we'll do 0.4 now and look in a bit more detail at the replay. Right, so what I do here, I use the replay and I'll stop at every braking point, go frame by frame forward to see, and you can see here we stop it, ABS on, and in a minute we'll move to where the braking actually comes on. But you can see we're looking for markers, so we've got the orange on the left, and you see then it goes towards the orange thing. So what, between the grass and the curb, and on the left we've got that orange barrier, so that's what we can use as our braking point. So you see he cuts a lot of that curb there, and then he uses all that curb on the outside there. So again, when you stop at the braking point, stop just before and go frame by frame until you get where the ABS lights up like this. So that's where his ABS comes on. Here there's not really a mark, so you're just looking halfway between where the grass starts and the gravel starts, and then I just move it forward to when the little red mark starts on the braking point. So just to try and get an adjustment of roughly, you know, in case it's not accurate, he's braking somewhere there. So on that one there's no real mark, it's just halfway between roughly on that grass. So then at this bit here, I'm looking, well, where's he brake? His ABS is coming on there, so he's past that orange barrier on the left and past the one on the right. And then we move it forward just a little bit, and that's where he's brake, but you can see still touching the accelerator. And when you play it through fast, I noticed he sort of balancing and rolling in, and only little bits of braking, little bits of accelerating. So I noticed that for this corner, and you see cuts right across there, just keeps two wheels on the curb, just uses all that curb on the outside on this run down to the hairpin. Stop again just before, move frame forward, so you can see his ABS is just coming on now, and we're past the curb, but we've got this light starting on the right and then that light up ahead. And then we jump forward a little bit to where he's now touching the brake according to the thing, and we're just past this light, but we're still before this big bit of light. So they're the sort of markers you're looking for. And then we see he uses a lot of curb there, so that's something we can maybe try and use a lot of curb, because that's what he does. So that's what I'd say to do. You don't always have to do what they do, because sometimes it won't suit you. And I will compare my replay to his, and you'll see there is areas where I don't do the same as he does, because to me, when I was trying it, I found it slower. But we're seeing he's flat through there, doesn't hit the wall, so we're coming up to the next braking zone now. So again, we'll do the same thing. We stop it, we check the brake markers. So he's still on the accelerator here, but this is where the ABS comes on. So we've got the green plant on the left, we're before the 100, and then his braking comes on at the 100 meter board. So it's hard to tell, so we know somewhere we can maybe use that plant on the left, use the 100 meter board, look for a good marker for us, because personally you might need a different one. You're not always going to be able to use the same one. And afterwards I will compare my lap to his lap in more detail, so you'll see where the differences are. But here, this is my fastest lap now, so we're just going to watch it through first and just watch through to see what I do. So you see here, coming up, braking for this first corner here, trying to cut this curb. So I had turned the cones off when I did this lap, because I noticed on that first curb, the first chicane, the cone kept slowing me down, so I had to turn them off. Because I always advise, don't use the cones, but have them turned on, because they can help for a few awkward corners, but they do slow you down if you hit them, so sometimes you need them off. But they do help in the race, because they're like an extra guideline. So you see here, I'm on and off the accelerator and on and off the brake, just trying to balance the right speed, trying to get across like he does, but we didn't quite take as much speed through there as he does. But now we're on the run down. As I said, I was using this light I'd found, so I'm looking for that light, slamming on the brakes. But you see, I don't get on the curb like he did, because personally I didn't find it suit, but we'll look at that in more detail after. And then coming through in nice and close to that curb, and there I stayed off the curb personally, right onto the curb on the right, and then literally skimming both walls basically, both barriers. You've got to be really close to them, and you've got to just not lift when you're doing a fastest lap. And then coming up to here, you see I brake really early. I braked too early there, I think. So I think I lost a bit of time in this final corner, but can we do it? Will we beat our time, and will we beat our target? Let's see. Coming across the line, it's a 1:44.003. So you see my times there, my sector times, and then this is the top guy's sector times, but I'll put them on the screen now. It's just so you know. So here, as you see, my original time, I've gained just over 3.5 tenths off my original time. So that's a good shame we didn't quite get into the 43s. But the first sector, as you can see, we've improved 1.5 tenths in sector 1, just over a tenth in sector 2, and just under a tenth in sector 3. But I think sector 3 we had a little bit more because I think we messed up that final corner. So personally, I don't think I've got much more in sector 1 and 2 personally, but I think that final corner, I've probably got another tenth I can squeeze out. Maybe not quite a tenth, but I think I can squeeze extra. But then off the fastest guy, as you look, we're just over 2 tenths down in sector 1. But as I said, I don't think I can really improve personally. We're 2.5 to 3 tenths, I think, down in sector 2. So, or just over, are we? Just over 3 tenths down in sector 2. But personally, I just don't think I can get any faster. And then sector 3, we're about 2.5, just over 2.5 tenths down. And as I said, I think we can get half a tenth to a tenth extra out of sector 3. But personally, I think that would be my limit. That would be my perfect lap, I think. So I'm happy with the lap that I've done. But that's how you've got to look at it. Everyone's got different targets. You've got to set your target. Your target might be the 1:43.1. Your target might be a 1:48.5. It does not matter. You're looking to improve on you and keep improving your time. And I just think this is the best way to do it. But we'll move on now, and I'll compare my lap and his lap in a bit more detail for you to show where the differences are. So just look here to start with. It takes a lot of curb on the right hand side there, and it cuts a lot on the left. And then if we look in detail, watch this right hander coming up here. Look how much he cuts the right hander here. Cuts it quite a lot, and then gets on the curb a lot, but he doesn't quite use all that curb on the right hand side there. But watch here, I use a lot less curb on the right there, because I found the curb unsettled. I think I used the same on the left and the right through the chicane and on the exit. But then watch this right hander. I found it unsettled the car too much, and you didn't need to do it, so I use hardly any curb there, just clip it. But then if you look here, I use a lot more of that curb on the right hand side there. But then these are the braking points. So this is his, then mine. So you see I actually brake a tiny bit later than he does into this first chicane. So the second part of his and the second part of mine. So you see I'm braking slightly later than he is. So then this next braking point, this is the start of his braking. And this is the start of mine. You see he's a tiny bit later than me on this one, as you'll see. So, you know, you're not always exactly the same. So this is the second part when the braking comes on. See, and I'm further back. So now looking at this, just watch the way he balances the throttle here, and he's about down to 13 mile an hour there, 18 through the second one, 24 is it, 124 through the third one, 123. And then if we look here, he's using all that curb on under braking on the left hand side, and then coming right across. So now we'll look at ours through there. So you see, much slower on the entry, down to about 111 there. And then 117, 16 through there, so a couple of mile an hour slower again, and 121, 22. Again, just a couple of mile an hour slower through each apex through that S section there. But then coming down to here, watch, I don't use any of that curb whatsoever because I found it really unsettled the car for me and messed up my braking, so I didn't use it at all. But this is his braking and my braking into this hairpin, and look how much later I'm braking than he is. A lot later, but I think that's because I'm not using the curb at all. You know, so it's my braking is better power, see? So I'm braking a lot later than he is there, as you can see. And then watch this here, all the curb on the right, and look how much curb he uses on the left, a lot. Right to the curb on the right there, and then straight through there. About 129, 130 coming out. And then 140, 141 coming out the tunnel there. And then braking very late. Right in, down to second, straight back up into third. And round through to finish the lap. So we'll just look at mine now there. If you watch this, a lot of curb on the right, but look, no curb at all on the left because I found it suited better. Straight through there, flat. Again, 129, 130 out, so matching him out of there, I think. Coming out the tunnel, 140, 141. The same, but braking earlier, so coming off the brakes earlier, and I was stuck in third here. Didn't go down to second like he did, because I wasn't finding it as nice going down to second. So here's our braking point into the final corner. And you'll see he brakes much later than I do, but I did brake too early on this one. I was looking for that plant on the left, but missed it and broke a bit too early, I think, because I was a bit nervous because I knew this was a fast lap and didn't want to mess it up on this final corner. So I was a bit too cautious, but that's all for the video. So I've just put up on the screen there so you can pause it if you want. The 6 points that I made at the start of the video, what I'd say is best to do if you want to read them through again. So, but this video was a bit more awkward to make. The editing was a bit more detailed. The commentary was a bit more awkward. And as I said, it took me 2 hours really to break my time, maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours to break that time, because I already had a fast time, but I really wanted to beat it. So I've put a lot of effort into this video. So if you do like it, please subscribe, please like the video, and please share it with anyone you know that you think might like it as well, because as I said, I've put a bit more effort into this one than the others. It's a bit more awkward to do, so I'd really appreciate that if you could do that. But I'll see you for the next one, so goodbye.